Hello and welcome to the CDW Tech Talks podcast. My name is Brian Matthews and I'm the host for today's episode. I am the head of services strategy and development at CDW Canada for cloud, modern workspace, and digital transformation. And I am absolutely thrilled to welcome good friend, colleague, Ashley Otto to the podcast. Ashley, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, before we jump in, where on this big, beautiful planet does the podcast have you today?
Today, very cold Calgary. We are past our Chinook and into the negatives yet again.
The yo-yo temperatures in Calgary always great when it's a Chinook and not so great when it snaps back down. But fantastic, great to have you. Before we jump in, tell the audience a little bit about how you got into AI and a little bit about your story.
I think everybody gets into AI just based on your day-to-day. But previously working at Microsoft, I heard about Copilot before I had left on my maternity leave, and it was a big up and coming addition to the Microsoft suite. So coming back from maternity leave in 2024 and seeing Copilot ramp up, that's where I kind of took my dive in. And lucky enough with CDW, I was granted a license right away. So kind of was ingrained in my onboarding.
Amazing. Great time to come back, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
New tools, new technology. I don't think coming back from mat leave is ever an easy transition, but, into an AI world probably amplified that a little bit for you. So, all right, we've got a quick episode today. We're going to get right in. Just to kind of frame it, today we're going to be talking all about the AI skills gap. We're going to be talking about skilling, right? And we're really kind of taking inspiration from a quote that's more than 5 years old now that Satya Nadella said on stage at Microsoft Inspire, that skilling is the new currency. And, I think that was an ultra relevant statement back then. And I think today, as we, embark on this incredible AI journey that everyone is going through, ultra relevant today. So, within that spirit, I'll set the stage here, Ashley, and then we can jump in. But really big topic number one here is the skills gap and the AI skills gap. So, as we think about that and as we look at that, a couple of things to call out. Just plain and simple, Canada and the rest of the world has an AI skills shortage, right? And more broadly, a tech skills shortage. That tech talent shortage is expected to get much worse before it gets better. According to IDC, 90% of global organizations are expected to face AI skills shortages in 2026. Which could end up costing a total of $5.5 trillion globally due to delays, impaired competitiveness, and lost revenue. We zoom in on Canada, total tech jobs reached an all-time high in 2025. And despite what a lot of the clickbait headlines would indicate, we've seen a steady 5.6% CAGR since 2020, so compound annual growth rate. And we're expected to add almost another 250,000 more tech jobs in 2026, even though all of the existing jobs are not filled. So lastly, Ash, one of the things that you and I talk about all the time and that we talk to customers about is our modern workspace report around Gen AI adoption. And one of the key findings this year was that, skill shortages, especially in AI and data, are among the top barriers for digital transformation of our Canadian clients. So, Ashley, just to kind of kick us off here, talk to us about this skill shortage, the challenge that's at hand, and some of the things that come to mind in terms of solutions or opportunities for organizations to address it and, understand that this is only going to get worse.
Yeah, skilling is the new currency, and you hear skilling a lot when you're talking to organizations or you're listening to podcasts or whatever it may be. And it really isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's making sure that you're keeping up with what's changing in the industry or even in the world and making sure you're not falling behind. AI can be placed in every organization, in every industry. So it's not really just a tech problem, it's an everybody problem. And for me, when I look at skilling, it's, are we leveraging all the tools and are our customers leveraging all the tools at their disposal to make sure that they are innovating and they are supporting their people grow. And those companies that we see that are using Copilot or any type of AI in their organizations are the ones that are unlocking more value and who are elevating their roles within their industries. And I mean, it's not just about the features, it's really about seeing what works best for your company and streamlining processes. I mean, even for myself, utilizing an agent for services development has gone from a 4-hour business case development to maybe an hour or so. So taking that time back to spend on other things and taking back those little minutes as we see throughout the day.
As a proud graduate of the University of Victoria and someone that has a biology degree and uses that degree very infrequently in my current career and role, it takes me all the way back to Charles Darwin, right? And evolution, it's not the strongest or smartest species that survive, it's the ones best able to adapt. And I think we're at such a moment in time to adapt. And, you know, we hear the word growth mindset thrown around all the time, right? It's such a popular term. You know, I think one of the things that you and I have talked about is, okay, great. If everybody has a growth mindset, now it's time to, you know, put our money where our mouth is and demonstrate that we can adapt, that we can change the way that we, you know, think about things, the tools that we use and the way that we do work. So, you know, kind of great setup there. You know, your role at CDW has many hats, like many people, but you are, in addition to all the great work you're doing from a services development perspective, working a lot on skilling. You are yourself an individual that's navigating this. And you're supporting our team that you and I both work on. You're supporting other teams across the organization. Maybe talk to me about what you're seeing and how you're thinking about skilling for you as an individual or other individuals that you speak with, and then also skilling for teams, right? And, you know, how can our listeners, how can our clients think about, you know, really driving change both at the team and organizational level?
It's really taking a step back. I mean, I don't come from tech. I started at Microsoft, I don't know, 2018 before coming to CDW. But before that, I was managing Indigo bookstores and soft goods retail. So I take that perspective. Like I'm always looking to learn and grow and doing schoolwork and whatever it may be. But looking at it as I want to learn something new. And I mean, within technology, and I've learned this over the last 10 years, is you always have to be learning. You always have to be growing. And I mean, we've seen a lot of that when COVID hit and we moved to Teams or online working, right? So I'm working at, I mean, using Copilot every day, seeing how I can streamline my processes, learn how to build agents as well. But then taking that approach, that non-tech mindset, and going to other teams. So not everybody is technically savvy. So how can we introduce even just basic Copilot to different groups within our organization and see, I always ask the question, like, what's in it for me? What's in it for them? How does this benefit their role? And opening up their eyes to see that they can also use it. Because I know a lot of the reports that we see is, well, it won't even benefit me. Like, why would I use this? Or there is the fear factor when it comes to AI of this is going to take my job. But with AI, there is always going to be a human approach to it. So showcasing to people that it's really here to be your co-pilot and to help and support you. So then that way you can spend more time on your own growth and development. So, I mean, there's lots of learning resources. I've done LinkedIn's, I've done independent learning, whatever it may be, but just showcasing to our team internally that if I can do it, everybody can do it. And there's always ways to find where we can streamline little pieces of our day.
Yeah, I think one of the great things that I've been able to see, and I know you've been a part of this, and it's definitely becoming part of the CW culture, is really kind of show and tell. And there's, you know, almost no meeting where I don't pull something up, a prompt up, or, you know, a researcher response up, and you know, generally when I do that and I share something that I've done, you know, people come back and share with me. Someone earlier today was asking me about a presentation that they need to deliver in a month or so. They used Researcher for the first time. They were uncertain about, you know, the accuracy. They knew that some of the data points were very relevant to my role, and they were asking, could I make, can I double check some of these, ideas or statements and make sure that they're accurate? And I just love that, right? I loved that that individual is inspired by a training to go out and use the agent, but is still, very aware that this is a tool. This is not something that's going to give you your final draft. This isn't something that you should entirely rely on, but it can help gather information and better set her up for success in that situation. So really excited to hear that. I actually also heard recently a team that was sharing prompts around doing their annual performance review and sharing the best prompt to make their life a little bit easier, to summarize some of their key achievements based on their goals for the year. So just lots of really cool things. In that spirit, Ash, anything that you've seen recently or anything that you've done recently or heard from other teams?
I mean, I'm personally, I've started using it, to build business cases, support in the services development, like I had mentioned, um, sharing the prompts to streamline it across different areas of our business as well. So, might as well not reinvent the wheel. Like I always say, work smarter, not harder. And I would say, even to, like, I was in a conversation earlier today, and a team was waiting for AI to help streamline a process and automate a process. And the solve to their problem wasn't AI. It was just a regular power workflow. And I think that's the great thing about when you're starting to have these conversations now. Everybody thinks that, oh, AI is going to solve these problems for me. But once you start talking it out and talking out the process, it has actually turned out to be something as simple as a power automate or a simple workflow that you can run through Teams. So I think that's been like the biggest thing for me. It's people are realizing that it's not AI that's solving the problem. We have the tools right now, so we can do it. But it's starting more and more conversations. And performance reviews is a big one. I think I was on a conversation last week regarding that too. And like, why don't you use Copilot and pull the information? I know I used it to pull the information of what I did over the last year, because who can remember 365 days of work, to
I mean,
help celebrate yourself. And you read back and you're like, oh yeah, I actually did that.
awesome. So you mentioned this earlier, this idea of like what's in it for me. So let's dig into that. What's in it for organizations to think about skilling and upskilling their workforce, and what's in it for the individual if they're going on in their own journey?
For the organizations, it's for me, it's really showcasing that we can add value. Any AI, or you want to do agents, or you realize it's a process flow automation, at the end of the day, it's showcasing to business leaders that it can impact your overall balance sheet by saving time in terms of like human hours spent, but also streamlining throughout your organization. So any AI app or process flow will help your team do more. And it's not even doing more and you're getting more work done and your employees are giving more back, but it's building a different culture around how you run your organization. So like I said previously, is giving those little minutes back. So if that's extra time for them to spend on learning and development, or grow in their role, or take on stretch projects, there is big value in that. Anywhere you read, it's not only dollars why people come to jobs, it's the culture and what is added to make them want to get up and come to work. And I think these are the little pieces that help drive that. On a
I love
personal level, we're seeing the same thing, right? So for me, I want to do more. I want to get my hands into all the different areas, as you know. So Copilot and agents, process flows help me do that. So it helps me elevate and do more things that I really want to kind of get into and do.
I love the way that you frame that, both from the organizational level and the team level, and as you think about it as yourself as an individual, right? And again, like framing this from a skills shortage perspective, we are not able to hire our way out of this. There's just not enough talent out there with the skills that organizations are going to need. It's going to drive up how expensive those, few resources are. And sure, that might work short term, but, those same resources might get even better offers. So the only way we really see to kind of navigate through this shortage is to upskill the team, is to elevate your existing team members. The other part of this is AI is not an easy button, right? And being able to find AI value within an organization is very contextual, right? Someone couldn't just hop into my role from an external source and understand all the different nuances of what I need to do, what the team needs to do, and the responsibilities that we have to drive and support the services business at CDW. So, it's not as easy as just going out and finding that talent. We're going to have to inspire, a mass upskilling, and hopefully, people that, heard today's conversation, will be inspired to do that. So just before we close, Ashley, any final thoughts, any closing remarks on, why this is in such an important time, and, ways that organizations can, make change and make sure that they navigate this upcoming shortage?
Yeah, I would say don't leave skilling to chance, or don't make it an afterthought. Make it a priority, build it into your strategic initiatives for the year. Remove barriers, time, cost, do what you need to do for your people and in your organization. And just like lead by examples. And that's like top down, right? Everybody using it. Because like you said, there's no easy button to hire somebody to come into these roles. And we all know that hiring somebody is a lot costlier than upskilling current, like your own employee workforce. So bake it into your overall strategic plan. And I think a lot of organizations will see success that way.
Incredible. Final thought for me, again, going back to that CDW Canada Modern Workspace report that we published in partnership with Angus Reid, we saw, we measured the comfort levels of AI usage and the things that organizations could do to better drive curiosity and excitement around AI tools at work. And 3 simple things stood out. It was providing formal training to their teams around AI. It was introducing an AI policy, and it was ensuring that the organization had approved AI tools to use, as opposed to a BYOD AI policy, which is obviously every CISO's biggest nightmare. So if organizations take those steps and inspire change and create a culture and a growth mindset of their organization to meet this challenge, obviously they're going to outcompete and have success in the future. So with that, Ashley, amazing insight. Thank you for joining the podcast today. We appreciate everything that you do for CDW and our clients. I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thanks, you too. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.